I say, please don't say it, please.
Well, I help.
Corner right over there.
I remember the other side corner.
Yeah, I do.
No, I don't remember this one. Really? That's awful.
At each other, I'm not sure where. We were throwing spitballs. Now Eli caught us. So Eli said, "You got to come up here." So I went up in front of the room, and he had this ruler, I don't know, this long, and I got it first. I don't remember that it really hurt. Then he did on an Edward, then this ruler broke. that was fun. That was funny.
What did he do? Just leave it at that? Or
I don't remember. I don't remember. I remember the ruler. You remember?
Oh, it was splinters flying
Anyhow, Joe, he was mad at Irvan and Larry because they kept making a mess every time we come out there driving speed. And so he went and bought him a broom and handed it, I think he handed it to you, wasn't it? No. And he said, here, he said, I bought you this brand new broom, I want you to clean up your mess when you leave. And as soon as Joe walked out, Joe walked out, Irvan said, clean up all this. He threw the broom back over the corn pile, you know, and just left it like that. Well, anyhow, before they ever got back to Farm Bureau, Joe Early done called him, "Them black boys stole my broom!"
That's helped us a lot. I think Dad was wanting some laughter here this morning. I don't think he was wanting all tears and unhappy. So my sisters got some of these memories together and they gave them to Luann nicely. She lived with my parents for, I think it was 2 years. She was a school teacher here about the Mennonite. Oh, I'm sorry, 5 years. Wow, how it flies. And she was really special. When Cynthia and Christina were young, they went camping on a camping trip in the front yard, just outside the front door. Long about the time they got all settled in for the night, Irvan locked the door, sneaked around the back of the house and started growling around their tent, scaring them senseless. The frenzied screaming and pounding on the door delighted him to no end, but he didn't leave them scared for long. He just wasn't that kind of man. Nathan, I remember the day that his dad was cutting wood together and the chainsaw wasn't working right. Dad just kept tinkering with that thing. Nothing really worked. Finally, enough was enough. And I left the woods that day with a new respect for the admiration of Dad's throwing skills. I never thought it was possible to throw a chainsaw that far. Marching on the river, washing up the silver spray, we will walk and worship ever, all the happy golden day. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river, gather with the saints at the river, that flows by the throne of God.
On Sunday mornings, he was just like a clock. He would show up at church early before others and be ready, waiting to usher us to our seats. I was talking to Irvan just within the last week or two, and he was telling me his plans of retiring. And he said, you know, out there in my shop, I have some hit and miss engines, and they need to start running. And I'm going to enjoy letting someone else take care of the chickens, and I'm going to get those hit and miss engines running. And I was pondering that these last couple of days, you know, and when Irvan hit Heaven's gates, he did not miss. It goes beyond the highest star and reaches to
did something for him. The family knew it. Charity discovered that if she wanted money, she could get it more out of him if she went up to the mill and met him when he got off the truck than if she would ask him when he got home. Another interest of his, he loved taking his wife and family out to eat. Bean soup, apple pie, greens, steaks, mashed potatoes, fried chicken, and biscuits. He liked nearly everything. He had a weakness for donuts in particular, and he always held a slight grudge against my sister Charity for innocently eating his chocolate-covered strawberry. He was a great man to call when you were lost. Not only did he know right where you were at that point, even if you didn't know where you were, he could tell you numerous ways of how to get out of where you were. And by the time he was done telling you, generally you were kind of confused. But he had a very good sense of direction. He always talked about north, east, west, and south, and yeah, he never really needed a GPS. He was interested in young people. He could show that interest in ways that spoke to them. Nathan says Irvan had this little thing of switching lanes and driving on the wrong side of the road when he met certain young men from church. It required a certain level of commitment and understanding from both parties involved to pass each other in the wrong lanes. At first, he just did this with a van or maybe a pickup truck, but after a while, he took it to the next level and pulled it off with an 18-wheeler. And I don't know if the Robertsons ever knew that, but I'm pretty sure that's true. Irvan loved a good story. He liked to hear a good story. He liked to tell a good story. He could keep a person entertained for a long time with many of his trucking stories. Trucking was an important part of his life. He loved to drive truck. The biggest reason being, it gave him time to pray for his family. His wife, children, and grandchildren were all prayed for by name. As he drove down the road, he made sure they knew he was praying about them. Ernie, he might say, I prayed for you today while I was driving truck.